Hi, this is David Humphreys again with the fifth in a series of videos about how to use the auction lot analyzer, which is one of the tools used by the students of the Property Auction Expert Masterclass. And I've opened up the EIG catalogue entry columns as well as the costs entry columns, because although we're going to be looking at the costs in this video, there is an entry with regard to the catalogue entry which I wanted to just demonstrate to you, and that's where the property is offered for auction if already let. When you enter properties that are already let, you put in the annual rent, not the weekly or monthly rent, because that is where it is described in most auction particulars, and the annual rent, not the monthly rent. So I'm just going to put £5,000 into that cell. And there we are. Now, having put £5,000 into that cell, we're going to convert that into a weekly rent if the property is being sold as let. And if I click into the spreadsheet or the analyzer, you will see that we then get a weekly rent over here, and I'll come back to the reason why this is important later in this video. But before doing so, we must look at some other cells in this cost section. And I'm going to close down the catalogue entry section and also just sort out the presentation of this analyzer. And there we are. I can scroll further across, but I will lose the lot numbers. Let me show you. So if I scroll across and tighten it up even tighter, I can't see the lot numbers anymore, which is important to see them. So I go back to this point. Now, the information that we need before we start: auctioneers will charge you, the buyer, an admin fee in most cases, and this admin fee is found inside the catalogue of the auctioneer. Let me show you. And now you need to go to the auctioneer's website and open up the catalogue and find the page which is generally in the first 2-3 pages, the important notice to be read by all bidders, and inside this page you will find reference to an administration fee. And in the case of Bigwoods, it's clause 5. All purchasers, whether buy, prior, etc., etc., are required to pay an administration fee per lot. And in the case of Bigwoods, it's £495 plus VAT. Also, if you scroll on down through the catalogue, you will find the money laundering regulations, another important notice. And here we have the identity documents that you must take with you if you intend to bid and buy. So these are the regulations that they have to comply with regard to money laundering. But back to our administration fee, £495 equates to £594 with VAT added. And this fee does change from auctioneer to auctioneer, but doesn't change from auctioneer's auction to auction. So Bigwoods will probably be charging this fee for the rest of this year. You then need to put in a figure for your legals. These are the legals fees that you're going to have to pay for your solicitor to convey the property to you and complete the transaction. Enter the LTV, the loan to value, that you're going to be working with. In this case, I've maxed it at 75%. Now we come to the costs. And first of all, there are buy costs, and the buy costs, which is an autocalc, are the total of the admin fees and the legal costs. So the combined total of these two figures, set at £594 and £500, is £1,094. Then we come to the fix-up costs, which I've put in at £25,000 in this example. I've preloaded it. But to get an accurate fix-up cost, you need to open up and complete the investment property analyzer, which is another of the tools that is provided to you as a student of the masterclass. And the more accurate that you can be with regard to calculating this fixed up cost, the more confident you will be when bidding your maximum bid. We then come to the vendor costs, and these are within the legal pack contract. And let me show you, and they can vary considerably. I've entered £1,000 for this particular lot inside the Bigwoods auction, but what I'm going to show you is a legal cost or vendor's costs which are being passed on to the buyer, which are much higher. Now, for the purpose of these costs, I've changed auctioneer because I've been looking for a lot which has fairly heavy costs to be borne by the buyer, by you the buyer. And you will find inside the EIG site access to the legal documents, and it is free. So I've opened up this legal pack and I'll show you the results. And here are the legal fees that will have to be paid by the purchaser. In addition to the purchase price herein, the buyer shall pay to the county council, this is a county council being sold property, an amount of 2% of the purchase price. Now, the guide price in this example was £75,000, and assuming that the property is sold at or around the guide price, the buyer would have to pay 2% of £75,000 plus 1.5% and VAT in relation to the auctioneer's costs, with a minimum of £1,200 plus VAT. And then in addition to that, a further £495 plus VAT, which is the auctioneer's costs. Now this little lot totals up to £3,500, or just under £3,500, assuming that the property went at guide of £75,000. That's approximately 4.6% of the hammer price. And these additional costs come under special conditions or even extra special conditions and are found inside the legal packs. You can access the legal packs as a part of the service offered by the EIG Group website. I might add that costs of this nature are not common except in the case of county council or local authority sales, but when looking at a property you must put this on your tick list as part of your due diligence and make certain that you've examined the legal documents to find out whether these charges exist within them. And obviously you complete this section in respect of every lot that you've registered or listed, because only by completing this section can you begin to determine the viability of the individual lot and the maximum bid price. And that brings me to the end of the video on this section of the auction lot analyzer.